YouTube, bro, check it out, man. We back. Hey, man. In honor of WrestleMania being today, I gotta do a wrestling video. We got what happened to every one of Vince McMahon's chosen ones in WWE. Let me go ahead and start with my favorite one. My favorite chosen one for Vince. Drew McIntyre. Drew is a freaking dog. I was gonna put him in the GOAT category, but he's a dog, bro. I love Drew. Good on the mic, great wrestler. He rebranded. He left WWE, rebranded himself, bro. I love Drew. I'm mad that they freaking took the title off of Drew, but y'all took the bro. I'm about to rant real quick. So skip ahead. Y'all took the title off of Drew to have a Cody and Randy feud. Perfectly fine with that. Absolute cinema going to happen at Mania tonight. Is it tonight? Tonight. But you added, bro, I talked about this before. You added Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee to this feud, which was not needed at all. This is not even Cody and Randy feud anymore. This is Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee feud at this point. Why? Bro, I don't know what happened to the love of the game, bro. I don't know what happened, but let's get into the video. Oh, y'all can't even hear it. Hold on. Go back. He said WWE is one of the biggest wrestling companies. And then I paused it. So let's go back.
Vince McMahon built WWE into the biggest wrestling company on the planet.
He did.
And along the way, he handpicked certain guys he
my
believed
boy
would carry the company into
Austin
the future.
Theory
Some of them
was
made
a
it,
chosen
most
one,
of them
but
didn't. From WrestleMania main events to failed careers, this is what happened to every chosen one of Vince McMahon. Starting with none other
boy
than
Drew
McIntyre.
McIntyre, real dog. I love
Vince
that boy.
McMahon walked onto SmackDown and told the world that Drew McIntyre was his handpicked future of the WWE. That was as big a stamp of approval as you could get in wrestling. But along with it came responsibility. McIntyre was only 24. He debuted on the main roster.
He had
Vince's
freaking broken
endorsement
dreams.
gave him
Oh my
powers
goodness.
no other mid-carder had. When SmackDown general manager Teddy Long tried to punish, Vince would overturn it on camera. The guy literally could not be fired, at least on screen. He won the IC title at TLC 2009, had a tag team run with Cody Rhodes, and the sky seemed to have no ceiling. But then the downfall began. The Nexus attacked Vince on Raw and wrote him off TV. And without that protection, Long stopped taking McIntyre's nonsense. The losses piled up, creative dried up. By 2012, Drew McIntyre was in a comedy faction where he lost every week alongside Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. He went from chosen one to glorified jobber in 3 years. He's admitted since that it wasn't just bad booking. McIntyre believed the hype too early and developed an attitude backstage that didn't help his cause.
Oh, give me a second. I gotta go get my water.
WWE
All right, we better do it.
WWE released him. He packed up and went back to the indie circuit as Drew Galloway and
He
spent
went to
3
TNA.
years rebuilding himself from scratch. He won titles in TNA, ICW, and Evolve. He reinvented everything from his look to his mindset. When he returned to WWE in 2017, he was a different person entirely. He won the NXT Championship, then made it to the main roster and kept climbing. At WrestleMania 36, Drew McIntyre defeated Brock Lesnar and became WWE champion.
This was Mania
He
before
won
I
the
came
World
back.
Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania.
No, y'all did my boy Drew here. Y'all did my boy wrong here, bro. He had this Mania. What was this? This was 2 years ago. This Mania was amazing. This Mania was electric. Y'all kicked the show off with Drew beating Seth. He acknowledged the best tweet of WWE history. Bored at work while in the match. Cinema. Y'all took the title off of him, bro. Come on, man. Y'all just don't let my boy get a run.
24. McIntyre has had amazing feuds with Punk, Reigns,
He
and
did.
as of early 2026,
Drew Punk feud, absolute cinema too.
McIntyre is one of the most
Drew has
consistent
great
performers
feuds,
in the
bro. He got one with
He won
Jacob
his
going.
third WWE Championship in
cool,
January 2026
but
on SmackDown, beating Cody Rhodes in a 3 stages of Hell match. The prophecy came true for Drew
Amazing.
McIntyre. Just took 12 years to get there, but while Drew eventually proved Vince's faith was justified, the next guy on this list had every opportunity to do the same and watched it all collapse the moment Vince left.
Now, before we get to Austin Theory, Roman Reigns made a promo about Austin Theory. He said, "Daddy's not here anymore." That joke had me crying. I said, "Yo."
Through NXT. But what really launched him was a conversation he had with Vince McMahon backstage. Theory recalled Vince calling him in, grilling him about his passion and work ethic, and deciding right then that this kid had something. From that moment on, Theory became McMahon's pet project in a way nobody had been for years. Vince appeared in.
I'm going to stop it right here. I don't know why they didn't continue with the Theory and Grayson Waller feud. I know Theory got hurt, but come on, man. Come on, man. That joke was, y'all was cooking with that joke. Y'all was cooking.
With Theory,
The crowd was loving Theory.
and consistently
A-Town,
top
damn,
it
that
was the
ball
kind of
too
treatment
hard.
that made the entire locker room take notice. At WrestleMania 38, Theory was in a segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin himself. After this, the accolades kept coming. Theory became a United States champion. He won the Money in the Bank in 2022. He even defeated John Cena at WrestleMania.
I remember that
On paper, this was a generational push.
I remember
then
when
Vince McMahon was gone.
Raw
Triple H took over.
only had the U.S. title because Roman was holding both titles.
An attempt on Seth Rollins and lost. He was paired with Grayson Waller in a tag team without direction. Then in December 2025, he was revealed as the masked man helping
cool.
the Vision.
I like him coming to the Vision, but
unclear. The talent was always there. What he never had was the ability to connect with audiences without Vince manufacturing it for him.
Wait.
Now that the
Theory can connect. Theory was connecting with us when was connecting with me when he was with Grayson Waller, like a year or two ago when I went to a show in Columbia when Theory and Waller came out. Everyone doing the A-Town down with Theory. A-Town down. Everybody was on. Let me see if I can find a video. Okay, I lied. I did not take a video of everybody doing the A-Town down with him, but I got a picture. And nobody do it. Everybody is with him at the ropes like this, doing it like how he used to do it. Man, I don't know why I was explaining it. I need to show you. Full screen, man. Hold on, sorry. That's Austin Theory. Back to the video. Where we at? Here we go.
Machine is gone, he's trying to figure out who he is without it. But before Theory, before McIntyre, there was one man Vince handpicked to be the next Hogan.
Lex Luger.
By 1993, Hulk Hogan had left
this
WWE.
Was way before my time. I don't know anything about Lex Luger.
Needed a new All-American hero.
I know his name,
he landed on Lex Luger, a physically imposing specimen who had been a decorated champion throughout the late 80s. Luger actually came to Vince's orbit a year earlier when McMahon launched the World Bodybuilding Federation, a side venture that went nowhere and lost a reported $15 million. When the WBF folded, Luger crossed over to WWE and debuted at Royal Rumble 1993 as the Narcissist, a vain, arrogant heel who posed in front of mirrors and used a steel plate in his forearm as a weapon. Once Hogan was out, Vince flipped a switch. On July 4th, 1993, in one of the most memorable moments of that era, Luger arrived by helicopter on the USS Intrepid and slammed the 600-pound Yokozuna. The Lex Express was born, a red, white, and blue bus that toured the country as Luger campaigned for his shot at the WWF Championship. Vince was all in. This was his guy. The problem was that the fans weren't all in. The cheers were there, but they were manufactured, not organic. Bret Hart, who was being kept out of the main event picture to make room for Luger, was getting louder reactions. McMahon even admitted it years later in his Netflix docuseries, saying they put the entire machine behind Luger, and it still didn't work. He was nowhere near Hulk Hogan. At SummerSlam 1993, Luger got his shot at the title. He defeated Yokozuna, but by countout, meaning the belt stayed with Yokozuna. According to Bruce Pritchard, Vince had held the title change off because Luger wasn't drawing the way he'd hoped and wanted to save the moment for WrestleMania 10 at Madison Square Garden. By the time WrestleMania arrived, Bret Hart had become too popular to ignore and won the title instead. Luger was done as a main event act. He spent the rest of his WWE run in the mid-card and quietly faded into the background. Then in August 1995, his contract expired and he left without telling Vince.
Wow.
1 week later, he showed up on Nitro in what became one of the most shocking moments in wrestling's Monday Night Wars. Luger had more success back in WCW, but his personal life was unraveling. Substance abuse issues
Nitro was on
TNA.
I mean,
and
TNT.
in October 2007, he suffered a spinal stroke on an airplane that left him nearly quadriplegic. Doctors described his condition as close
got
to
him
permanent.
walking again.
He couldn't move his arms or legs. His life
I
as he
just
knew it was
spoiled
over.
it for you
But
guys.
what
I'm
happened
sorry.
next is actually the most remarkable part of his story. Diamond Dallas Page took Luger in and put him through years of yoga rehabilitation. By February 2025, Luger could stand up from his wheelchair unassisted. Vince McMahon's chosen one never won the title. He left the company without saying goodbye. He nearly lost the ability to move entirely, and somehow, at 67 years old, his real-life fight is more inspiration than his wrestling career ever was. But while Luger's character was of an all-American hero, this next chosen one of Vinnie Mac was dominant foreign heel.
Vladimir Kozlov was...
Vladimir Kozlov spent time in Ohio Valley Wrestling, won the OVW Heavyweight Championship, and by 2008 was called up to SmackDown. His entrance was striking, and Vince Vince McMahon loved the look. WWE went all in. Kozlov ran through jobbers for months without losing. They built the undefeated streak slowly. He picked up wins over names.
One thing I don't like, bro, is the jobber. You try to push somebody by putting them against jobbers. Bro, you can't do that in this age, bro. Us fans know. We know it, bro. We know you trying to do a squash match. You can't do that. You can't do it, bro. Put somebody against I don't know.
Jeff Hardy and The Undertaker. By late 2008, he had earned a WWE Championship match against Triple H.
I think I remember this. Yep.
But the match was a disaster. The crowd
horrible.
never bought Kozlov as a threat, and the core problem was painfully
Kozlov
obvious
just didn't
to
have
everyone
that
watching. The man could not talk at all.
Exactly.
His promos were wooden to the point of being uncomfortable.
Couldn't speak English.
And his moveset was so limited
his
that even
moveset
fans
was
who wanted
horrible.
to get behind him didn't have much to latch onto. Vince had fallen in love with the look and the resume without checking for the other essential ingredients. After that Survivor Series disaster, Kozlov was quietly moved to ECW. He formed a team with William Regal and Ezekiel Jackson, but that faction fell apart within months. When ECW folded in early 2010, he landed on Raw and ended up doing comedy segments with Santino Marella. The two of them made an unlikely duo that got over with crowds purely on charm, and they actually won the Tag Team Championships in December 2010. But everyone knew what it meant. Kozlov had gone from Vince's monster main eventer to a goofy sidekick in 2 years. He was released in August 2011, but Kozlov's post-WWE career has been more interesting than his wrestling days.
He's a movie star now.
He transitioned into acting, with stuntman roles in John Wick 2 and Fast and Furious 6. He also works in business and production in Miami. He showed up briefly in Impact Wrestling in late 2023, but his in-ring days are far behind him. However, around the time Vince was running the Kozlov experiment, a certain Irish powerhouse would catch his attention. Sheamus debuted on ECW in 2009 and was barely on anyone's radar. He almost
Sheamus
didn't
a
make
dog.
it.
We love
Early
Sheamus.
on, WWE management told him to improve or he'd be released. But then something clicked. Sheamus debuted on Raw and started running through the competition. He attacked Jamie Noble, Jerry Lawler, and anyone who looked at him wrong. At TLC in December 2009,
Sheamus was a great
just
heel,
166 days into his main roster career,
but
Sheamus
it's like it's hard to hate Sheamus now because he got the Celtic workouts. He'd be working out with everybody, and Sheamus is really a cool guy. It's hard to make Sheamus a heel again.
John Cena in a tables match to become WWE champion. He was the first Irish-born world champion in company history, and he had done it faster than almost anyone in the history of the title. Vince was sold on him. The look was unique. He beat Cena. He feuded with Triple H. He became WWE champion before most people even knew who he was. And in the years that followed, he kept climbing. The Royal Rumble, multiple U.S. title reigns, and a massive 4-year tag team run with Cesaro as the bar. But here's the thing that plagued his entire career under Vince's watch. They never committed to a single version of him long enough for it to stick. 1 month, he was a dominant killer heel. The next, he was dancing around doing Irish jokes as a babyface. They gave him the world title in November 2015, but that reign lasted barely a month before Reigns won it back. Today, Sheamus remains one of the most decorated wrestlers in WWE
we love
history.
Sheamus, bro.
He's nowhere near the main event or the level Vince dreamt of him, but he's still
I'll
putting
say
on
Sheamus
bangers every now and then. But while Sheamus' monster main event push fizzled out in months, this next chosen one of Vince
my boy Roman Reigns, my OTC,
until the fans had no choice but to acknowledge him. In 2012, CM Punk pitched the idea for the Shield to WWE management. His plan was for 3 guys to act as his hired guns.
You know what's crazy? Before he get into Roman Reigns was at a high with the Shield. Then everyone hated him. The people loved him. Now we in the middle. Folks hate him. Folks love him. I'm one of the people that still love him. I love him.
Seth Rollins and Cassius Ohno. Instead, Vince replaced Ohno with Roman Reigns, and the Shield was born at Survivor Series 2012. For 2 years, the trio was the most dominant force in the company. Reigns specifically stood out as the powerhouse, the physical centerpiece of the group who annihilated opponents with spears and powerbombs.
Roman actually got better, bro. He's always been a great wrestler. He got better on
After the Shield broke up in 2014, Reigns was immediately launched into the main event. He won the 2015 Royal Rumble, was put in the WrestleMania main event against Brock Lesnar, and became WWE champion multiple times over the next several years. On paper, it looked like a massive success. But in reality, it was one of the most polarizing runs in wrestling history. Fans rejected the idea of Reigns as the next John Cena, booing him out of buildings while simultaneously cheering Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins. The harder Vince pushed, the louder the boos got. This cycle continued for years through world title reigns and Mania main events. But when Reigns returned in 2020, something was different. Paul Heyman took over as his manager, Reigns turned heel, and the Tribal Chief was born. Gone was the smiling babyface who never quite fit.
Cinema.
In his place was a paranoid, manipulative mob boss who bent his own family to his will and held the undisputed WWE
Absolute
Universal
cinema.
Championship for 1,316 days. The Bloodline story became the best long-term story WWE had produced in years.
Cinema.
He finally lost the title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, but even today, Roman Reigns remains one of the biggest stars in the company. He's the OTC,
He's the
head
dog.
of the table.
My boy.
He's defeated everyone from Brock Lesnar to The Undertaker to John Cena himself. However, not every wrestler had the booking influence to get a win over Super Cena. Some wrestlers lost to
Hey man, we talking about Super Cena? I don't want to talk about Super Cena. I'm gonna get at your boys in the next time. Hope you boys enjoy Mania if you're watching. If not, I hope you enjoy your day. We got Mania night 1 and night 2. Catch y'all boys.